John Safe in the building today, and we are set for our first matchup. This one, the big man in freestyle, 120 kilograms, 264.5 pounds. Right here, Kerry McCoy. He will be wearing the blue singlet. He's already been on an Olympic team for the United States, 2003 world silver medalist, 29 years of age, out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Tolly Thompson. He comes our way out of Cedar Falls, Iowa. He won the Pan Am Championships in 1998 and 2002, but he's got his hands full today. This man has already won one match. This one will decide who goes to Athens. If it is won by Kerry McCoy, he's on his way. Otherwise, Tolly Thompson wins. We could head to another match to decide it.
McCoy scored those 5 points very quickly, Russ, but then shut down. I think you're going to see him a lot looser and continue aggressive attacks.
And how will the scoring take place here? 1, 2, 3, 5 points can be scored by 3 officials on the mat. Most of it takedowns, but we have a lot of back exposure, turning your opponent to his back.
2 points is exposure on the mat. 3 and 5, taking your opponent to his back from the standing position.
We'd like to say it's going to be simple throughout the day, but we have 3 officials. 2 of the 3 must agree. Sometimes we have delays, and we'll keep you updated on the score as it occurs. So right now, in the blue, McCoy, in the red, Thompson, and we are underway.
Well, I saw Thompson score the last 3 points of their first match. It seemed that he kind of solved McCoy's defensive riddle. We'll see if he can get on track early in this match. But it was McCoy who struck first. Tremendous mobility, good leg attack, and very good on the mat, Russ. He's got a great gut wrench.
And, of course, one of the other issues that can rise in international wrestling is if the wrestlers are not aggressive, the officials can call one or the other for what's called passivity. Then the other wrestler gets an opportunity to either stay on the feet, continue to wrestle, or to put the other wrestler down on the mat. We see it a lot in international. It becomes a factor. The reason is to make the wrestlers be aggressive. Somebody should be doing something throughout the contest.
And it also creates an opportunity to score points. Passivities are stalling calls. Cautions are penalties.
And, of course, all of those can be factors in very tight, particularly tie matches.
McCoy, the more mobile of these 2 athletes. Tolly Thompson, much more deliberate with his approach. McCoy, very fluid.
And there we have our first passivity call, and it's going to be against Tolly Thompson. So they'll go down on the mat, what we call parterre position. And McCoy will have the opportunity to try to work some sort of a turn here to get some of those back exposure points. Kerry McCoy was a 3-time All-American in college, as was Tolly Thompson. So these guys are not new to success. There's a gut wrench.
And the criteria is 90 degrees with your opponent's shoulders. McCoy gets in there. And he was able not only to get the 2 for the back exposure, but if you hold him there for a 5 count, you get an additional point. And there's the score now, 3-0 in favor of McCoy. Rush, you mentioned his college career. McCoy was a 2-time NCAA champion for Penn State.
And right now he's an assistant at Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Tolly Thompson, also a national champion for the University of Nebraska. 1 minute remaining in the first period. No score, or 3 points right now for Kerry McCoy.
And once again, 3 points can end the match in regulation. You need at least 3. McCoy has gotten there. Now let's see if he's going to shut down as he did in his first bout, or if he got that rust out because he'd been sitting around watching the challenge tournament, which Thompson won, to face McCoy. Maybe now he's a little bit looser. He looked good right there.
They stopped him because they stepped out of bounds, so they're not going to allow the point to be scored there by McCoy. In spite of the fact that coming on top, Tolly Thompson had stepped out of bounds, they bring him back to the center. McCoy, the more experienced internationally, he's been on 4 world teams for the United States, and Tolly being the underdog, probably a factor here, Jeff.
I think so. Tolly actually retired after his attempt to make the 2000 Olympic team, but that fire still burned inside him. He came back, and what a performance through the challenge tournament. Everyone thought Steve Mocco was going to be the one to face McCoy, but Tolly Thompson handled Mocco in the finals of the challenge tournament.
And the big man end the first period with Kerry McCoy ahead of Tolly Thompson.